as I was figuring out a way to close, I couldn't talk about the topic of adultery without highlighting Jesus' interaction with an adulterous woman. This is found in John chapter 8, is the text. And Jesus, he's sitting around with some of his followers, and he's beginning to teach them. And out of the blue, the Pharisees, who were the arrogant religious leaders of the day, they were very judgmental. They were very critical people, and they didn't even really believe Jesus was who he says he was. They interrupted him and brought him this woman caught in the act of adultery. And I can kind of just imagine, based on their posture that's communicated in the text, they probably plopped her down in front of Jesus. And they say, Jesus, this woman was caught in adultery, in the very act. The law of Moses says that we should stone her to death right now. What do you say about this woman, Jesus? If you look in the text, Jesus, he ignores them and bends down into the sand and writes something into the sand. We don't know. The text doesn't say what he wrote. But he ignores them. And then the Pharisees continue to demand, Jesus, she was caught in adultery. Are you listening to us? We caught her in the very act. We need to stone her right now. What do you say about this woman? Jesus stands up from writing whatever he was writing in the dirt, and he says, all right, he who is without sin among you, go ahead and throw a stone at this woman. If you've led a perfect life, if you're blameless, go ahead, stone her. One by one, the text says that they were convicted, and they left the scene until it was just Jesus and this woman standing there. Jesus asked her, says, where are your accusers? Has anyone condemned you? To which she says, no one, Lord. Then Jesus says the most powerful words. He says, neither do I charge you with an offense. Now go and sin no more. Go and sin no more. You see, pain, guilt, and shame, that can lead to temporary change. That can motivate us for maybe a season. But the grace of God, the amazing grace of God, is what's going to lead to permanent change, because it's going to change our hearts. And that's what we see in this story of the adulterous woman. She thought that she was about to be stoned to death for what she had done. She thought her life was over. But then Jesus enters the scene and shows her grace. Pure, unconditional love. And he sets her free. He says, go, live your life. Don't do this again. Don't get back to this place. Go and sin no more. And I don't know who needs this dose of grace today, but I want to invite you to receive those words from Jesus right now. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're struggling with, I have the authority from this passage to speak these words over you from Jesus, because God speaks them to us. So if you need this dose of grace today, I invite you to receive it. Just receive it by faith. Neither do I charge you with an offense. Now go and sin no more. Receive that grace from God today and go live your life. You have a second chance. We serve a God who is merciful and gracious, and he gives us second, third, and fourth chances because he loves us.